In Wisconsin, OWIs are so common, the majority of the time, only a person with 10 or more tends to make the headlines. For every story like this, the comments we're asked are the same. How does this happen? Why are they still allowed to drive? What's being done to change it? 7 Investigates' Bree Bilak has been looking for those answers. Bree, why is it important we take a critical eye at the frequency of OWIs here in north central Wisconsin?
Well, Dale, just because we see them often does not mean they are any less of a threat to safety. As of today, the Department of Transportation's community map shows across Wisconsin nearly 1,900 total crashes involved an impaired driver. Now, impaired can mean alcohol or drug use in this case. In those crashes, there were 39 deaths, 773 injuries. And this doesn't include traffic stops for potential OWIs law enforcement make so often.
Ma'am, you're going to be under arrest for OWI.
What always gets the attention of other, 8th, 9th, 10th, 7th offenders, but majority of people killed in drunk driving crashes are caused by people with no prior offenses.
In the most recent data from the Department of Transportation in 2023, 173 people received their first OWI conviction in Portage County.
It's on a regular basis, especially in the evening time. If not every night, every other night for sure. We have officers that are investigating potential OWIs.
Lieutenant Joe Johnson with the Stevens Point Police Department says most occur at night or in the early morning, but day drinking is a thing.
We have a fair amount of daytime OWIs as well, honestly, probably more than people would think. I would say we're training this on a regular basis.
It's not because they don't see it.
Because it's something we run into so often, it's something that most of our officers are very comfortable doing and are very well versed in.
Also in 2023, 45 people received a second charge in Portage County. In the last 20 years in Portage County, 45 people have been convicted with their 7th, 8th, or 9th drunken driving offense, and 6 people have been charged with their 10th or more, with the greatest number of offenses at 13. Johnson says a lot of the cars being stopped are under suspicion based on driving behavior.
Good evening, ma'am. Officer Flower from Stevens Point Police Department. Saw you speeding there.
A lobbyist from Mothers Against Drunk Driving tells me high visibility law enforcement activities are critical.
Not necessarily to arrest all these people, but to get folks to take a rideshare, a taxi, a safe ride.
For law enforcement officers like Lieutenant Johnson, he says it can be quite disappointing to see a person with multiple OWI charges.
It's unfortunate because you would hope that most people, everybody makes mistakes, and if they get caught for that mistake, you would hope that maybe they would learn their lesson.
Now, earlier I misspoke. It was 38 deaths, not 39. The graphic was correct. Lieutenant Johnson says they only stop a very small percentage of people driving under the influence. He adds officers hold people accountable for law violations. If officers drove people home when they were intoxicated, he says everybody would be operating while under the influence.
Bree, this is just the beginning of your series. What can we expect next week?
Well, Dale, next Wednesday, I'll share a conversation I had with a recovery case manager. I'll dive into why people might drink and drive and the role addiction and drinking culture could play. In the future, I'll also share what a judge has to say about sentencing guidelines for OWIs and what factors can influence convictions.
All right, looking forward to those stories. Thank you, Bree.